Well, let's go then. We're on.
Okay, hello, everybody. Welcome to Fraser Park Public Utility District. This is our regular meeting agenda for Thursday, August 8th, 2024, starting at 4:01 p.m. We have additional teleconference location today of 820 Elm Trail in Fraser Park.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we're going to start with a pledge to the flag. If all of you could rise. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, and so we're gonna do a roll call of directors now. Director Garcia,
Present.
Director Nyman,
Present.
Director Gibson,
Present.
and Director Kelling.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg, and we are all present, so that's all 5 directors. We're going to move on to item number 2, discussion vote, adjust agenda if necessary. I know that we have our attorney here to discuss a closed session. Can I entertain someone to make a motion that we move around items so that we can address?
I make a motion that we, move up 10, 11, and 12, right after, public comments, after 3.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so we'll be moving 10, 11, 12 to directly after, you said public comments?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything else that may need to be adjusted or discussed, as far as adjusting on the agenda?
At this point, I think everything's good.
All right, then, so we will move on to, item 3, public comments. This is for items that are not listed on the agenda. And we like to limit this to 5 minutes. Thank you. Are there any public comments for items not listed? Yes, Joe.
I have 3 comments, 2 of which are kind of on the agenda, one is not. The one that is not, I would like to know on the minutes when somebody submits a public comment, why that is not noted on the minutes and what the answer to that question or comment from the public might be.
What the answer is to that?
Yes, if a question is posed and the board does answer it at that time, why none of that appears on the minutes?
Okay, I'm gonna address that and then I'll let the other board members address that as well. To my knowledge, when we had the grand jury come, we were putting rather lengthy, we were putting a lot of stuff on the minutes and they told us that the minutes are really for motions and what the outcome of those motions are, that you can make very limited, I don't know what that is, notations as to other items, but that's what I remember them. I think that we changed some of what we were doing at that point.
I believe they said that that it was more like a transcription of the way they used to be. It was too much. And then if people wanted to know what was said, that they could get,
We record everything, so, and that was part of when we started, as far as our transparency, actually recording all the minutes so that you can go back and watch, not the minutes, the meetings, so that you can go back and watch the meetings, because I do recall, and I don't know if that was in their writing to us, but that they had a problem with how much we were putting.
I think we have the report somewhere. We can review that.
Yeah,
It's online
Sure.
on the website.
Yeah.
so I don't know if, do any of the other directors have a?
I think that's it. Just like closed session, we discuss a lot of things, but unless we make a decision to move on that action, then there's no reportable activity. So kind of like that, I guess, maybe.
Makes sense.
I know we used to report too much. I was kind of a stickler for trying to put a bunch of stuff on the minutes and I was kind of shut down with that and told that that's not what minutes are supposed to
Do
reflect.
you know of anything in the Brown Act that requires us to do that?
The only requirement is to report action.
Yeah.
So
that- that's what
motions and the
grand
votes
jury
of the
said was.
directors is the only.
Yeah, 'cause remember when that came about, we had a couple of problematic.
We were,
Oh.
I was
that-
asking that.
we got in
extra-
trouble for
Yeah.
allowing to speak too long too, like in minutes. They said, you gotta keep it to 3 to 5, and that's it, so that's
Right.
when that came
I do
about.
recall that.
So that's my understanding of that.
How long are the recordings kept for?
Right now, I don't delete recording.
We haven't deleted anything in the whole time I've been on the board.
Okay, thank you.
We still have cassette tape.
So if someone really wants to pursue
They,
the topic,
our attorney told us we can, but we have not done, in fact, right now, we're trying to figure out our records acts and what we want to get rid of.
Save for how long?
Save. But, yeah, right now, we haven't gotten rid of anything.
All right.
And I don't know how long is it able to stay on the website before we have to change something? Right now, we have enough
Right
room,
now,
right?
there's no limit right now, so.
So
the
we
YouTubes
keep
are all
everything
staying
up.
on there. And since we've started YouTube, they're all on there.
Okay, so I think that's probably about 5 minutes for that. You said the other two items are on the agenda? Okay. Any other public comments? Okay, well, at this time, I will, go to our, the motion that we moved to items 10, 11, and 12, which is our closed session. So at this time, I will need to ask the public to temporarily, go outside and we will come and get you. And I believe we also have a director that's going to recuse himself.
Director Garcia.
at this point, I will, recuse myself for any discussion or action on the next topics. I will be available when you're finished.
Okay, so we will come get both of you as soon as we are done with our attorney. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the oral announcement prior to closed session, Government Code 54957.7A. A representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Item 10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al. Kern County Superior Court, case number BCB 24100199. Item 11, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9 D1, CNC Elite Properties LLC and Hacienda Salcedo Inc. versus Fraser Park Public Utility Districts. Kern County Superior Court case number BCB 24-101972. And item 12, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, property in question 256-070-54, parcel 256-070-5, and parcel 256-520-13. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Brahman Diamond, and D. Jasper. Negotiating parties Jeff French and Emily Wainwright under negotiation, price and terms of payment. And I guess I asked them to leave prior to, I should have read that first, so my mistake there, but at this point, we're able to go into the closed session
At 4:09.
at 4:09 PM. Thank you.
Emily. D.
Hmm. Hmm.
The sentence out there because they said the ones were gonna get bad, so.
Get a little solar, phone charger, one of them light bulbs they give
Oh, I would
before.
love a solar phone charger.
You can stop by there.
How long are they there?
It'll be all night.
No.
They're there in preparation for a possible.
Possible
power
shutdown, power outage. Okay, we're back.
Okay, so calling
outage.
this meeting back to order. The time is 4:41. Oral announcement following closed session, Government Code 54957.1A. The legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. We had just discussion. We did not vote. We did not have a motion during closed session or any other action that was reportable. Okay, so we are back. We're gonna go backwards in the agenda, back to item 4, which is report of officers, president. I don't think I have anything specific to, oh yeah, I do. I signed another one of the
Claims.
claims the other day. So that all I've done recently as president between the last meeting. Vice president,
No report.
secretary,
I signed, some, minutes the other day.
okay, treasurer,
I transferred, from revenue operating its meter well, $15, transfer wire, fee to cover that. And, then I transferred out of our general fund, $29,374.20 into the meter well, so we can pay, Brock for progress payment for.
and JPIA representative, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. We will go on to board member initiatives. Do we have any board member initiatives? Item 5. Hearing none, I will move on to item 6, managers report.
We had, 9 meter changes, 3 after hours callouts. For mainline failures, Mount Pino, Catalina and Clay. And, we, from what I understand, are lucky. We, had to only pull out 7 of the new smart meters for, manufacturing defects. So we pulled them out, put dumb meters back in the meantime, took them down today, dropped them off at Ferguson because they send them back to Neptune. Neptune confirms that they're defective and then they send us the replacements. So I think we did pretty good with only 7. They expect to have around 1%. They fail, but so far we've only had those 7.
Out of how many?
1,250 or.
So those 7 you'll have to read,
Yeah, we'll reinstall them when I get back
yeah.
and, just plug them back into the existing antennas that are there and it'll be a simple job, it's a simple task. And other than that, everything's good.
Okay.
And you might want to say that we helped a fellow company up on the hill here as well.
Thought I mentioned that last meeting, but
Did you?
thought I did. But anyway, yeah, Milton Charlie, they thought they had lost a water tank because of the volume of water coming out of it. So Rob called me. I took our crew, myself and all our pumps and everything that we had and went out there and helped him for a little while. It turned out it was the pipe that comes out of the bottom of the tank, the pipe failed and not the tank. So it turned out to be not as big a deal as it looked, but it looked quite impressive when you rolled up to it. There was water running a long ways.
So they end up losing the whole tank full
Yeah.
of water?
Yeah, but luckily it was just a pipe repair instead of a
No, it
tank
makes sense.
replacement, so
Makes sense. It's at
Yeah.
the bottom.
we went running as soon as we heard. At the time Rob called me, he was unsure of what to expect because he just heard tank failure. So I was expecting washed out homes and all that stuff, so we went out there and helped him out.
Good job, good call.
Any questions for our general manager?
No.
Okay, then, moving on, normally under management report, don't we usually have a system, but it's not there?
It fell off because it wasn't there when last meeting.
So I guess we can't have you report, so. Okay, convenient, yes. Item 7, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We went, through the, invoices and, we asked Deborah to cut the checks and we'll discuss that in financials.
State update meeting committee.
We had the meeting with the state. I think that, we can talk about all that under the other items.
Well, actually, we talked about it some already at the last meeting, well, I don't know,
Right.
because I wasn't there.
No,
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 you just got.
we just had it last week. That was last week we had the state update meeting.
Yeah,
We haven't talked about any of the stuff.
Wait, this is our first meeting.
this is our first meeting of,
Right,
of
right.
August.
Right, but we
You weren't
had,
able to attend the last one because you were driving around
because
somewhere.
you weren't at the,
No, that's not the meeting we talk about, it's the other.
we had,
This week, a couple
well,
weeks
that's
ago.
project,
Hey,
that's
we're
not,
good.
that's a different, committee. That's the project.
No,
Yes, it was.
the state update meeting
Okay.
committee is the
Right,
standing
right,
committee
right.
that happens the
Right.
third.
Right, and so we haven't had that yet.
There you go,
There we
okay,
go.
that's
That's
what
what
I,
I was
that's
thinking.
what I was reaching for, but I was trying not to go there.
It's
so-
all right.
Okay,
Senior moment.
quarterly financial committee.
We did meet and we went through the quarterlies and, I think there-
Twice. Yeah.
Twice, yeah. And I think there was one little thing that we asked Deborah to change. That was it. But they're looking really clean.
Yeah, they're in much better shape than, when we weren't doing the AP, so the AP committee has been a really good addition. We don't find a lot of misplaced items and that are charged to the wrong accounts. Okay, any questions for any of those committees before I move on to item 8? Okay, I've made ad hoc committee reports, the project committee.
So the project committee met with Ruben of the state and we went over several items, including, about well 7, about Lake of the Woods, all of those items. So we will discuss each individual one under each topic.
Okay, and the financial committee.
We haven't met.
Okay,
Right.
any other questions on that? Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to item 9. This is Deborah Angel, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information.
Lisa, I have a question for financial committee.
Yes, financial, the ad hoc or the, standing committee?
I'm not sure which one it falls under. You tell me.
Okay,
I'm looking at the profit and loss that you guys post and looking at the annual thing from the auditors. I'm having trouble following where money goes in, money gets transferred, money goes out, and where the balances are. Would it be possible to meet with somebody so they can explain it to me? It doesn't need to be done tonight.
yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's a public records stuff, so. I
Let
think
me
you
know
would just come in.
Who's gonna do it though? Because it's I mean, we could provide the data, but having the training class, if we're paying our bookkeeper to do it, then that could get kind of costly. So if somebody else,
I think it would probably be the financial committee if we were able to explain what it is that you're looking for, because I'm not sure
Okay,
what it is that you're
we'll
looking
give
for.
it a shot.
Okay. We would have to, Terry, are you okay with that?
I guess. I mean, I don't understand what she wants to know, but I mean, we can try and explain what we know.
Well, what you could do is after the meeting, you could like give us a list of what you know, and maybe we can take a look at that and see if we can,
Sure,
if we're
no problem.
capable of answering your question.
I mean, if she needs to talk to the auditor, then I don't know what her problem.
Well, then we talked
we
about
would have to
that.
pay the auditor as well, so we
That's what
can't.
I'm
So we
saying.
can't do that. We could provide our records and as much knowledge as we've got,
Yeah,
but.
Johnny, for your information,
Hmm?
Johnny,
Huh?
for your information, that's about a 0.5%. .0056.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
No, we're half of what you expected is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's well with the dollar.
Out of order right now.
Okay,
What are we
let's move on.
I don't know.
Meters,
The
the fail
meters.
rate of the meters.
Okay, so I'm going to move on. We will talk to you about that specific question and see if it's something that the financial ad hoc can answer or if it's something beyond that. Okay, so financial business, Deborah, you're on. Discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Okay, I prepared one check out of the meter well account for $236,863.50. That was paid to Bruff Construction for progress payment 4, claim 28. There were 30 checks prepared out of the revenue operating account for a total of $39,955.60. The extraordinary disbursements include the employee benefit medical dental vision for a total of $9,134.58. There was a disbursement to Ferguson for 3 invoices totaling $3,417.56. A
And that was
disbursement,
for distribution system maintenance.
yes. A disbursement to
sorry.
Griswold for $5,697.82.
And what-
The
what-
Edison bill was, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, Deborah.
the Edison bill was $8,786.20. And that's all the extraordinary disbursements.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, so there is a question for our general manager from Director Nyman in regards to
Griswold, right?
Griswold.
Yeah, Griswold.
That's clay valve, that's the clay valves that we have at well 5 and they had never been rebuilt and
Okay.
they failed, so I had to have them out there. Just so you know, when I think we have maybe in a couple of months, I gotta get them to come out and do another 4 at well 5 as well.
Okay. All right.
Okay, are there any questions on any of the financials?
I move we pay our bills.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? Is
Second that.
there any discussion in regard to that motion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 5-0-0. We will be paying our bills as listed in our packet. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. Any other questions for Deborah before she leaves? Okay, thank you very much.
Before I leave, let me just throw this out. Let's be thinking about whether or not we are ready for audit for
Yeah.
the 23-24 fiscal year.
Okay, so that should probably also be something the financial ad hoc looks at briefly, so that we can send all the information to our auditor.
You wrote an email to the auditors. Did you get a reply?
The change that we discussed that I made was correct. The one that we discussed when we were in the
So
meeting.
then we do know that who the new auditor is?
No, Danira answered my
Okay.
question.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So
Have a
with-
good evening.
Thank you, Deborah. We had a question about how to adjust something that wasn't coming in correctly from RBS to the bookkeeper, and so we were also hoping we would get to find out who our new auditor is, since the other auditor left. And so she reached out to them, but they had someone else answer the question that's not gonna be our actual auditor, so we'll have to see how things go when we send everything, but we're really close. And what Deborah was proposing was okay by them.
Right, okay.
Okay, I think that's it, Deborah. Thank you so much. Okay, so
Thank
we're
you.
gonna
Good
go
evening.
on.
But we'll be on time with our audit this year.
We should be on time with our audit this year. We've
Yeah.
gone through, we've had the, both the AP committee and the quarterly financials, each standing committee each quarter, and we've gone through all of the quarters that we needed to go through, and I think everything is ready to send.
Yeah, I'd like to compliment that idea. I think it's just that makes so much sense now that you've done it, review it quarterly instead of having everything that comes up way down the road. So it's nice that we're doing it like this.
Oh, absolutely. It's making things so much easier.
Then it's not
And
overwhelming
it flows easy.
all at once, doing all of it. So it's worked out well.
Yeah, I think that was a really healthy change for us to make.
Yeah.
And well worth a little bit of extra money, because it's saving us money.
Oh, you
for the
would,
audit.
you would have spent the money anyway in the long run when we were
Way
going
more
through
than
it.
the
Yeah.
money, yeah. So, okay, on to item 13, discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Wood Consolidation Planning Projects. 13A, discussion vote review of the project timeline. So we did have lengthy discussions with Ruben, but we haven't adjusted that timeline at this point, but there are some items that were brought up, and so that will, I think.
I would suggest that for the next meeting, that we have what the current timeline and what the amendment for this planning project, another copy of that in so we can go through it, because I want to make sure that we're because we have some issues at this point.
Now, are you talking about the one that D provides, or are you talking about the funding agreement?
This is both,
Well, both.
both, because we had.
So the funding agreement, what we've signed,
Mhm.
what the
State timeline and then a more specific.
right, the state line, and then also the specific timeline.
And the state line, we were kind of encouraged strongly by Lawrence before he left to okay it, but we still had items that we were afraid would be further out, that the timeline ends before we wanted it to end at this
Right.
point. So we really need to look at that, because that came up with in our project ad hoc discussion, so.
So I think there's really nothing more to discuss on this,
No, not until we
but
have
we
that.
can go on to B.
Okay, so 13B, discussion vote on the budget adjustments.
Okay, so the budget adjustment letter has been approved. Where we've moved money from the engineering design into consolidation, engineering and the other, so that we can submit,
D is the overdue
we
invoices.
can submit the overdue invoices, in the next claim. So that has been approved. Now, as far as, what has happened, to get everybody up to speed, even though we've been talking about it for 6 months, apparently, all this information that Dee provided to the state never did anything with it. For asking for more money for this amendment, because originally Lawrence had said, okay, we're gonna wait on adjusting, and we would adjust the timeline with the budget when the state makes the decision to give us the extra money for the contract. Well, apparently, nothing was done at all. So we found that out in our meeting, and Dee confirmed last week to Ruben what the adjustment for the extra 700,000 that we need because of inflation and all that. And so Ruben is working on he says that he doesn't believe that the state is gonna have a problem with approving the extra money. But he had to put together like a memo, that he has to send to his upper management. So he was making that a priority, and so hopefully by, he'll get it done in the next couple of weeks. We'll find out, I guess, at the next state update meeting. But he was gonna work on that memo, and Dee had sent over on Friday, and confirmed to Ruben, these are the numbers that we wanted, and so,
But until that goes forward, what it
Right.
means is that we have now moved a whole chunk of money out of design, which
right,
means
and
that
so
we're gonna
he's
be
limited on
stalled
his design,
at
so,
a point on design.
right, so Dee we have to make sure that he doesn't go over on his design until we get approval. So that's the main thing where Carlos is gonna need to work with Dee to make sure that, once we get in close, because I don't think.
Well, we had talked about the cap being a lot lower, so I think it's at like 90,000.
Right, so it's like about $90,000, so, yeah, because I don't have the letter in front of me, but, we moved about $45,000, something like that.
Do you remember what we moved, Carlos? Well, because we projected forward as well, which is what Ruben wanted us to do, so we actually projected a little bit of money that had not been spent yet, so that we didn't have to do this adjustment yet again before we finally got.
Right, so we put
budget
extra money in
adjustment
engineering
from the state.
consolidation.
Do you remember
I
what
don't
those numbers-
I don't recall the exact number. I can look it up if you want.
I think it's in the minutes,
Yeah, it should be in the minutes.
which is in your book, so it's all laid out there.
So that's okay, I think, but basically we covered ourselves and that was what was requested, that we project a little bit more than what we actually
Yeah.
currently owe, so that we didn't have to do yet another budget adjustment. So I believe we did that.
When did you guys have this meeting with Ruben?
Oh, you weren't there, Carlos. Oscar was there. It was this last.
It was
Tuesday? Tuesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah,
was on
I think it
Wednesday.
was on last
We
Wednesday.
we were supposed to only be talking about, well 7 and the meter well project and all the issues with that, but because there were other issues happening, I brought this up and, we discussed some of this as well.
Oh, because
So,
I wasn't on that meeting.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be talking about it, but.
Yeah, it
we
was
ended up
originally,
talking about it
with Oscar to go over, which we'll talk more about.
When we get to that.
When we get to that, but.
Okay.
But that issue came up when we were in discussion, and so then all of a sudden, we were in this long discussion, so then I got hold of Dee and made sure that Dee had sent over, that he verified with Ruben, because Ruben had gotten so much information, he wanted to verify the increases that Dee had requested.
Yeah, part of the problem was that Ruben had just sort of come up to speed, or thought he had finally come up to speed with everything that was going on, and so he was asking us some questions as well that weren't part of the initial discussion that we were gonna do on Wednesday with the meter well project. Do you have any other questions?
So
in
we
regards to that?
weren't trying to not have you at the meeting.
Yeah, we didn't want you out of the loop. We were hoping that Oscar would fill you in.
No, it's okay. I was just wondering. I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it happened Wednesday.
Okay, any other questions on the budget adjustment? Okay, which was a good thing because we actually got the budget adjustment finally, which
Yes.
we were waiting on, well, part of the budget adjustment. So, okay, 13C, discussion vote on the acquisition development of well 8 and 9 properties. D, we did talk about some of this in closed session, some of it is closed session items, but do we have anything? I know we need to discuss things on D, which is the acquisition, but do we have anything on C that we need to mention?
Hello.
What was the question? There's some,
Is there any info on well 9? For,
Not the Bear Court, which is item D, but is there anything else on 13C that doesn't need to be spoken about
was
in
it?
closed
12-9.
session that you could
8 and 9.
discuss in open session, 13C?
Well
nothing
nine,
from eight. Nothing on the-
regarding well nine, I've been in discussions with Jeff French. We're going to start the process of application for a certificate of compliance so that we can take possession of the property when we're ready to purchase it. And the purchase price has already been discussed with Emily and Jeff. So it'll be, when that actually occurs will depend on the process that the county is going to put us through for the certificate of compliance. So we'll start that process next week. And then I'll have a little bit more of an update after we get that far.
And Director Nyman?
And at what point do we need to make a motion about the lot line adjustment?
At what point do we want to start moving? We need the certificate first, and then we'll move forward on the lot line adjustment deed?
I think we'll do that, and I'll talk to Jeff a little bit about that too, next couple days, but I believe that, it could be that a lot of the information that we'll need for the certificate will apply for the lot line adjust to it. It's a different process, but there's a lot of information that we'll have to provide for the certificate.
At what point do we need to approve this? Because we have to approve this because it's going to be part of the sale when we finally finish negotiations.
I think what he was saying is that you want to move forward first with the certificate and just get the ball rolling with that. And then probably at our next meeting, we can discuss and vote on hopefully by then, the
Lot
lot line adjustment, once you have some more information on costs and things.
Yeah, we should have some information then. We'll have some discussions with the county.
Okay, any other questions on that before I move on to 13D? Okay, 13D
Yeah,
discussion vote on.
Lisa,
Yes,
before you
go
move on, did you guys discuss with Ruben, the Well 8 project? About, how we were gonna move Well 8 out on its own project?
Yes, so
okay.
yes,
Yes.
let me mention that.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
there's a couple of things happening. So yes, they were asking for when we thought that it might be, that we might be able to take possession of the property. And we had erroneously told them possibly in September. And that
Well, it wasn't erroneous.
Well,
We have new
we
information.
have new information and that's not going to be the case. So we were not, so what Ruben informed us is we missed the first round. Or whatever, it wasn't even the first round, it was whatever round that we were applying for, we missed. And that round is now closed. And then they moved us to a higher point. I don't know if it was the top of the list, but to a very advantageous point for the next round. But the next round is going to happen before the end of the year, and we will probably not have possession of the property until the end of the year. So we may or may not miss out on funding for this next round.
Well,
We don't know
what
that
we're
at
gonna
this
have
point.
we're gonna have to discuss it, Carlos, with Ruben, but basically, until we get possession of the property, they can't move forward with the funding but they put us in for the next round, and the next round, I guess, and the next round is for the end of, I think it's be within this fiscal year.
They mentioned us, but they said that we may still have to fill out a new application, but
yeah.
he didn't know, so he was gonna talk to his
Right.
supervisors to find out if the application can be just,
Right,
taken and moved to the
basically-
next round, or if we have to basically fill everything out again. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Director Nyman.
What he said was that we were not approved for the emergency funding. And that we missed out in the first round, and so the second round. They put us in for, which is for the end of this fiscal year. or the fourth round, excuse me, the fourth round, which is for the end of this fiscal year. But they were hoping that we had possession by September, but that doesn't look like that's gonna happen at this point. So we'll have to discuss it with him and see what they can do to hold funding or maybe push it out a couple months. Because it's a possibility we won't have possession until probably November, December.
Yeah, and that's the reason I was asking, because I had spoke with him last time I had a phone conversation with him, and he had told me that you guys weren't gonna get the funding for that round, so I was just making sure you guys knew about that already.
Yeah,
We do know, but what we don't know is if we need to start a whole new application, and that's something we need to talk to
Right.
them about.
Well, and that's something, yeah, like she said, we're probably gonna have to do another application, Carlos, but he has to let us know that.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions for 13C? Okay, 13D, discussion vote on the property appraisal, acquisition and development of the additional booster and tank site. That's the parcel 256-520-13 Bear Court property. Go ahead, Dee.
Okay, we've had some conversations with both Jeff and Emily, and they are okay with the site that we picked. It's 3/4 of an acre. And it's just right off the Bear Court, really where we looked, Lisa and Brahma, when we actually had our field trip, right off the end of the cul-de-sac, future cul-de-sac that will be there. And so I've contacted Alliance Appraisal for an appraisal on the property. They gave me a price of $6,000 for the appraisal, and there might be some other minor expenses not to exceed $500 to get the appraisal process, to get the property appraised. That appraisal would be due early, hopefully before the end of September, maybe a little bit, maybe mid-September if they can move on it right away.
I do have some questions for that spot, D, because we're talking about a possible tank in there as well, not just a booster, correct?
Right.
Are we going to run into issues with the property owners above that? I mean, do we need to put something out? I mean, it's great that we're getting the appraisal, but are there going to be issues because that's going to change their sight line, or because there are properties right above that section? And I'm also concerned about the proximity to the road and if there are setback issues with a tank and or booster.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that the property falls to the south pretty steeply. So I don't think the tank's going to obstruct anything because the sight lines, their sight lines would be above that. There are no properties on the particular parcel that we're dealing with. That's parcel number 1. But there are houses above that. And
right, there's a property in between probably, and there are no houses probably in between either the property and then the first properties that people own that have houses.
Pinyon Pines is going through that right now where they're putting in a treatment plant down at the bottom, and the people who live there don't want their view of the meadow disturbed, but apparently you can't do anything about it. I mean, you gotta put the public safety in the, be able to provide safe drinking water for the community. So I think that's why they're doing it, because they have no choice.
Right.
They can't put it somewhere else.
I'm just bringing that up as a potential. Have we, thought about it? Have we addressed it? Is it, are there going to be potential issues on this before we actually pay the money for the site, because I wasn't really thinking about that when we did the little field trip out there, but I'm thinking about it
Well,
now.
I don't think that there's anything that you have to notify the public. I mean, you're buying a piece of property that you're gonna develop and.
Yeah, but we're not putting a house there.
No, no.
Yeah, we can reduce the vertical impact by making, if we need to, we can make the
Wider.
wider and lower. And I think, hopefully that's an issue that could come up, and hopefully we can, design around it.
I don't think it's gonna be an issue because like Johnny said, Pinyon Pines went through that and that got thrown out the window already, so.
Yeah,
And the houses, there are a substantial, elevation increase up that hill, and, I know one of the families, the Gibsons, and when we get farther along, we can discuss it with them, but I think they'll look right over the top of the tank, like Dee said, instead of making it a 3 or 4 ring tank, you could make it a 2 ring tank, and that's only 16 feet, and I'm sure the elevation increase is greater than 16 feet to their houses.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there because I didn't know if we had thought about that yet. And the other thing was the setback from the road, that I wanted to put that out there to make sure that we're gonna be okay as far as having, I think that's a fairly big piece of property though that we're talking about, so we should be fine,
And
right?
it is pretty far from the road.
But
yeah.
are they gonna have plans to widen the road or any of that? That might not.
I'm
wind up-
talking about the little road that goes into Bear Court, not the Fraser Mountain Road. So it's right off the little road that goes through for access.
Oh, you mean off Bear Court Road? Where?
Yeah, I'm talking about I
Yeah,
don't know what that's called, but that road where,
we're probably 200 or 300 feet to the west of the end of the cul-de-sac. So, we're
Much?
quite a bit west of the Bear Court Road itself.
okay,
So yeah, I think we should be okay from that standpoint. I was thinking,
because we weren't sure when we were out at the property, how far in we were gonna be.
we'll be in plenty far that there shouldn't be an issue with that.
So, and so do we need any other type of vote or anything? We had already okayed you for the appraisal. We have an amount now. Do we need to
I
vote
think we
on
need
that
to-
amount?
Yeah. I move that we have Dee do the appraisal on the Bear Court site.
No, we already did
We
that.
already said that was okay.
She was gonna continue and include the dollar amount for
Okay.
the appraisal.
Now,
For the
my
dollar.
only question, Lisa, is that, did that amount come within the budget that we set aside for that?
I don't know. I thought, I had asked you about it. I believe we still have a larger amount than that under appraisal
No,
still. Do you?
we do, but we put it, a while back, we had set a budget for appraisals. We're like, well, we'll put in this much for appraisals because some of that money that's in there is for LAFCO fees and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I think we were thinking 5,000, and this is a little bit more, but I don't
Up to
think it's
1,500.
substantially more.
1,500.
Okay,
1,500?
It's 6,000 up to an extra 500 in incidental things.
Oh, 1,500 more, yeah. I don't know, I think we had padded the LAFCO fees, anticipating that there might be inflation and stuff by the time we finally got to
Well,
LAFCO years and years
was it
later,
just
so
one- was it just one appraisal that was gonna happen?
Just one.
this is,
Yeah, cause
right now, this is one.
I think we had put in 10,000 because we were saying that we could have 2 appraisals, so I think there's 10,000 in there for appraisals, but I'd have to double check.
We thought we might need a second appraisal, but at this point, I think we won't need that for the other properties, so hopefully not, and as long as we don't need that for the other property, then we should be okay.
Yeah.
They just,
Go ahead, Director Gibson.
sorry. Never mind.
Okay. So any other questions on that?
So now, do you want somebody to make a motion, so we can spend
Oh,
the money,
so,
or
yeah,
no?
let's go ahead and. I mean, I don't know, do you remember the minutes? I mean, I think we approved him getting the appraisal
We
already.
Well,
approved getting the appraisal, just not,
Yeah, the dollar amount wasn't spelled out, but you definitely approved the appraisal.
You know,
Why don't you go ahead, so we have it on record, and, I'll entertain a motion for the, dollar amount.
Go ahead. No, you do it.
no, I don't know what the dollar amount is.
Up to,
Okay,
6,000 for the appraisal and up to $500 for any additional expenses that they may incur doing the
Okay,
appraisal.
I make a motion that we, approve, the appraisal for the Bear Court property in the amount of $6,000 plus 500 to be no more than 500 for extra incidentals of a total of $6,500.
I'll second that.
okay, any other discussion before we take a roll call vote? All right, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 500. So you are good to, get that appraisal.
Okay, we'll get it going right away.
Okay. Moving on now to 13E, discussion vote on the MSR, Project Municipal Service Review, the draft MSR that went back out, anything we need to discuss in terms of data collection, scope of work, and LAFCO. I have, and I think Director Nyman has something too, but I don't know, I have some stuff, Dee, that's still, like, I swear we talked about it months and months and months ago, and I still found it in there. And I had some other things that came up, so I just don't want this to keep dragging on, but I feel like there's still some things that are incorrect in there.
Well, yeah, me too. If it's super important, let's do it. If not, I can write, an errata and put it in the front of that. And, then we can just correct it with a, additional sheet of paper at the front of the report. It'd really be good to get this thing done and get it submitted. I've, sent some.
I would say, Dee, my frustration with this is, I mean, we faxed over what my changes were, and one was on the table and it was very clear, and they did not do it. So I don't understand why they didn't do it. And my opinion is they should do it, and they shouldn't be asking for any more money, because we've spent a ton of money on this,
Still not right.
and it's still not right.
And there's other things that we asked for instance, under the who's a severely disadvantaged or who isn't. And we had discussed this months ago. I thought you fixed it. And it first said that Lake of the Woods was severely and Fraser Park wasn't. Then it flip-flopped and we were, and I thought Lake of the Woods wasn't, and now it says they both are. So, and we had brought that up, and I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if something changed, but I have a feeling that it's still wrong from previous versions of this. And then there's also something I brought up months and months ago. It wasn't even in that I didn't look because I thought that it was changed. And that was the, having some sort of wording when you say that there's a standby number 4, well, that it's
What
not
page
a
is that?
standby, it's on page, what is this? 4? Not the actual pages, but the beginning,
The
portion.
numeral.
The numeral.
Uno, or
The
the numeral.
summary, in the executive summary, it talks about standby 4, and we had talked about this like multiple times, that it's not really a standby in the sense that it can't be run with 6. It could replace 6, but it can't be run with 6 if 5 fails. And there was supposed to be some sort of wording in there that said something really briefly about it, and that never happened that I can see. So
Well-
it just is still a standby. There's typos that are still in here that I caught, but I mean, those are not critical, like, just dumb stuff that I swear we said something about many moons ago. And then I'm concerned because it's already like, and now we've gone into the next fiscal year. And so now we're talking about projected income for fiscal year 2023-24, when that's already happened. And we set, Tiffany set the actual financials, and it still says projected income for fiscal year 23-24 exceed projected expenses, when we're already in the following year and we have the actuals. So there's just like a lot of, and there's a lot. There's like, still the typos, there's still, I don't know, cause I went back through it kind of, thinking that we had changed stuff, and I just double checked, and I don't know. So I'm a little concerned. Some of it,
Well,
obviously typos just make us look dumb, but it's not a big deal. But, and I'm concerned about the amount of water connections, because on page 8, you have 1,293. That's not the case right now. It's 1,310.
Yeah.
And then there was also some.
Okay, so if you're gonna go over it with them, do you want to specifically go over one at a time and have him make notes to?
I feel like we've done that.
Okay, well, I mean, either we're gonna approve it or we're not gonna approve it, or we have to get it corrected, one or the other. We have to make a decision.
Let me ask this, Dee, how important is every last thing being absolutely correct in that? Is that like some document?
So much fun.
For the sphere of influence, which is really what we're doing this for, it's not that important. The thing I think that's, if there are issues with respect to, say, the number of services and stuff, that can be done. We can issue and put an errata sheet together with it and get this thing filed. I think when we get ready to do, actually get to the point where we're going to consolidate, and that's 2 or 3 years away, I think at best. We will likely do an update on the MSR. And then, we'll have a whole different set of circumstances that we'll be dealing with, because we'll have new wells, and we'll have pipelines, we'll have meters, all of the things that.
And we'll have to pay another 13, 15, 20,000 to do that?
Oh, I don't know. At that time, we're gonna be ready to, we'll be looking at a whole different agenda, because we'll be wanting to consolidate and reform the district. I think at this point in time, we need to correct what we feel is important, and we can do that with an errata sheet, and then get this thing filed with, at least get a draft to LAFCO, so they can look at this, because they may have some comments of their own, and
Well, I'm okay
get
getting a
moving
draft
down the
to
road
them.
with this. It's just been too
Well,
long.
make the correction for the.
Well, I do have a question too. Okay, so a more important one on item 9, which I guess could still be in an errata, but you have that the Church of Latter-day Saints chose not to annex. That's not true.
We can include that on an errata sheet as well.
I thought one of them did refuse.
No, they
Why-
came
why
back
is
and
there-
decided that they wanted to go with us, and then we had all kinds of questions, and we spent money to redo the map so that we could include them.
thought there was still one of the two that didn't want to be included, but it's been a long time now.
I believe they, at the very last minute, decided they wanted to be included, and then we.
I seem to remember they made the state made us reach back out to them again, because they mentioned.
Yeah, the
But
state.
then
was-
then I thought they backed out again.
I don't think so. I think they said yes.
Well, I don't know.
And then we fudged on it because we didn't want to have to do the map again. And then as far as I know, we did the map again. Is that true, Dee? Is that not true? I don't know at this point. I mean, that was way back. Dave Warner was still with.
Been too long. I remember we redid the map. We did the map and then we redid the map. But believe me, I don't remember exactly what we added or took out. But I do know we did the second version, went through the approval process for the county surveyor and then back to LAFCO. So, and there's always room for correcting things down the road. It's not a drop dead document, but it does give LAFCO a good picture of where we're going with this. I think that's important. And then the important things that you have found, we can put that right in the front and say, on page whatever, paragraph whatever, this number needs to be changed to this. And-
Okay, so I thought we sent a draft of this to LAFCO already. I thought we had sent the original as a draft, and I thought we had sent this again as a draft, but we were just trying to fix what was still wrong in it. Did we not send it to them a second time? Because they had the draft of our original MSR from way back when, before we went back in with Bravish and started making these changes.
Well,
No,
yeah, but that was over 5 years old.
Yeah, I know. So this second MSR version never got submitted to LAFCO as a draft?
No. In fact,
So
we've been waiting to
So I
get to that point.
absolutely think we need to submit it as a draft.
Well,
And I think that
it's essentially a final, but if they do have comments on it, then we would make changes. I really don't know what their review process is going to include. They do have the map, they have the SOI map, and dang, I think we need to get this thing off the.
No, I know.
Okay,
We
but
spent-
Well, Lisa, whatever you want to make changes, I don't care about the tables, it can be wrong. It's off by a little, I don't care. But.
Just approve it and then Deal do that cover sheet. They'll explain anything that you find
So
that you want changed.
which things besides the,
there's just a ton, but if he's gonna do an errata sheet, I guess he's gonna do an errata sheet. I'm just very disappointed. I'm gonna state that for the record, that I'm really disappointed that we've spent as much money as we've spent and there's just continual mistakes in it. I'm sorry, but I need to say that.
Well,
Well, I'll entertain a motion to send this to LAFCO.
okay. Can you update the connections to 1310?
say it again, Brahma, please.
Well,
Can
he
you-
shouldn't update anything.
Can you update? Can you update the connections to 1310?
Sure. I mean,
Okay, so
I
I'm
can-
gonna put it in the motion.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the MSR and, that D updates the, connections to 1310.
And what, all the other wrong stuff he's gonna do in errata, or he's not?
no,
Well, what,
if you give me a list, all that can be included in an errata sheet, but I gotta have a list. And, give me a list and I'll prepare the errata sheet.
okay, I make a motion, you give him a list of what you want changed for the errata sheet. So I make a motion that we approve the MSR with the correction of the 1310 and whatever list Director Schoenberg, provides D with,
This puts all the work on me. That pisses me off. Okay. Fine.
well, I didn't see the other things, so I'm not sure all of what you're saying, so if, I mean, if you want help with it, I can come and help you with it. But I'm not sure,
But we're gonna go ahead and send it to LAFCO and then let him work on an errata sheet and just tell LAFCO that there are some things that will be like the financials, which are wrong.
Oh, my gosh.
So can we just send it to them and then, when you send it to them, are you then able to submit the errata after the fact, or do we need the errata before you send it to them?
Yeah, I would suggest we do put the errata in with the submittal as part of the report.
So we get to change everything on our dime and they do not have to change anything. Okay. Go ahead and make your motion.
I already made my motion.
Okay, was there, what? And what was it? I'm sorry, you need to repeat it.
I make a motion that we approve the MSR
Was an errata.
with an errata sheet with correcting the connections to 1310 and whatever else of a list that the district wants to provide D with.
And are you making this sheet or it's gonna go back to Barbies?
I'll do it. I'll do it. It's just, you know, it'd be very easy to do once I have a listing. So it shouldn't be any problem. I really hesitate sending this back because
Yeah,
it takes another month or two and then we're further behind. If I can get a list right away, next couple weeks, I'll just prepare it and then we'll do a formal submittal. And get the ball rolling.
yes, something like that. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Yeah, there's a motion, a second on the floor. Is there any discussion before a roll call directors? Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
No,
That was a no?
There was enough.
that was a no.
Okay, okay, Director Kelly.
I'm gonna vote no too. Because I also agree that if we're spending out this kind of money, and this is supposed to be a professional company, that they need to get this stuff right, especially our financials.
Are we gonna just keep on spending more and more, getting them to correct it? Offer something that doesn't have any actual factual bearing other
But
than it just makes you feel better?
We shouldn't have to
To
spend
pass it?
anymore.
But in
Understand,
50
but-
years from now, somebody's gonna look at this document.
Not for the sphere of influence that everything's gonna be changed when we actually take him over.
Okay, we're in a roll call vote, and I'm really unhappy with this since I have to do the deciding vote and I'm the one that has the real, or I have to do all the work and I have an issue with it. So I guess I'm gonna vote. Yes, but I'm very unhappy with,
You're the
What
only
is it?
one that has problems with it.
I know I'm not the only one that has problems with it. I'm concerned that it's gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. If I vote no right now, then it's gonna go back to them again. And I don't know if we're gonna get charged more money or not. And I don't know. We have a contract with them. They should have it. It should be correct, but I don't know. I don't know.
So shouldn't the corrections be on their dime?
The correction should be on their dime, yeah.
Is that how you worded it?
No, he's wording an errata that I'm responsible for coming up
Correct.
with all the things that need to be corrected yet again
On her own
on
time.
my time.
On her own
And
time,
then
not
they
even,
are
you
gonna
know.
charge us for it, or D at least. And then they got all this money for it and
The only thing I'm gonna say
It's
is,
still
and
gonna be-
I understand your frustration, and maybe we need to reach out to whoever's making the changes ourselves, because we keep on getting mad at D for this not happening and getting frustrated every single month for the changes not happening. And it's not D's fault. He can't make anything happen any more than we can right now. So if we really have a serious discrepancy with this, maybe we should go directly to them.
Well, and
And
then
tell them to
didn't
fix it.
you say,
go ahead.
didn't you say you
Commissioner
called
Garcia.
and they didn't even give you the person that's our new representative?
No, that's our audit. That has
Oh,
nothing to do
okay,
with this.
okay.
This is the MSR. This is
Okay.
Stanley Hoffman and
Oh,
Associates.
no, they,
Completely
yeah, no, they
different.
are have not shy in charging us. I think we need to call them on the carpet for their public, like you said, professional
But then you
services.
guys are voting yes on a motion that, do you wanna withdraw the motion and should we discuss this some more?
What he's saying is it's gonna take still a long time, and we keep on getting frustrated because the projects are taking forever. And we do half of it ourselves. If it's not pertinent information that's gonna affect things, then we shouldn't worry about it so much. If it's something that is pertinent,
It's
but he's
pretty-
saying that it's not gonna be pertinent for the sphere of influence. That's what we're getting at. We don't have to flog everything to death unless it has a bearing on
But
actual.
the MSR has bearing on a lot of stuff. It later comes into play for the annexation, so it's not just the.
And then we're gonna update it again, right, Dee, after we,
And we'll spend another. God
but I
knows how
mean,
much.
Sure will.
but if we have to update it again anyway.
In 50 years from now, Dee, how important is this document?
Right now, it's important to get the sphere of influence improved and approved. You know, and, you know, when we get further down the road and actually get ready to consolidate Lake of the Woods with Fraser Park, then we'll have to update everything, I'm sure. Because we will have made improvements certainly in well capacity, pipelines and other things.
So it's gonna have to be done again, just because we're gonna have well 8 and we're gonna have other things before we get to the project. Is what he's saying.
Yes, Joan.
If I can make a comment,
The,
the
oh, I'm sorry, somebody,
that you had, the tasks that you had to complete for your grant funding, the MSR was on that. If you could go ahead and get this in, that's one more thing checking off the box for Ruben to say, we're moving forward, check, got this done, check, got that done, but we need this to be able to do other things. It might be influential for you that way.
Okay, so does your motion still stand?
I have the motion, so it's like I
And
said,
it has a second, and we've done a roll call vote. Does the motion still stand?
yes.
You can withdraw your second.
That's what I wanna know. I can withdraw my,
Yes,
my
you
yay.
can. Mhm.
It's up to you.
Based on new information. We can continue to discuss it as long as there's a motion on the floor. But we can also withdraw the vote and re-vote.
I'll withdraw my vote.
Okay, so let's continue discussion for a short while. So why don't we, do we want?
Okay, I wanna
pros
know
and
specific,
cons to
wait
this
a second, wait a
motion?
second. I understand your frustration and you found some specific things. I think we should go through them one at a time. If there's that many, I mean, when I looked through the things that I asked Dee to change, he had changed, I saw that he had changed the things that I had asked him to change, except for the table. That was what I saw, but maybe you're a little more thorough than I am, Lisa, so if I would like to know what that is.
Well, I have concerns, so one of the big concerns that could affect us is stating which community is severely, what the actual
Okay, where is that?
things are for the communities, so that's on page. I don't
8, wasn't it? I guess it was.
know, I just did this quickly, not thinking I was gonna be responsible for having to do everything.
Yeah.
That's on 4 of the summary. IV
Yeah,
of the
okay, that's what
summary.
it was. And I got
It's
circled.
under disadvantaged unincorporated communities. So
Okay.
that is,
It says disadvantaged, unincorporated is a geographic characterized as having medium household 80% or less.
From statewide median income.
Okay, Kern County recognizes the designation of Kern. The county has identified Lake of the Woods, including MWC, other water systems and properties on individuals as severely DUC. Fraser is also severely DUC. So I know we had asked for that to be changed.
we asked for Fraser to be changed because
Right.
we were not listed as severely DUP.
And we are severely.
You are,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
because you weren't. They had taken it off.
So she's
So then that's
confirming,
fine, so
so-
we don't need to worry about that,
okay,
as long as that's accurate.
We're as stacked with that.
Okay, so that one's accurate. So I'm gonna skip all the typos and everything. I had asked, like I said, had a concern of well number 4, our being just listed as a standby. That was like a long time ago and I just missed that had never gotten put in there.
Well, just so you know, that's exactly what the state classifies it as.
As standby, then that's
Standby.
not a big deal. If they classify it as standby, even though it's not fully standby because it cannot replace 5. I'm only concerned about this because I'm concerned that when we go to try to get other funding or whatever, if this funding falls through for 8, that they're gonna say we have a standby well that we could run at the
It's
same
fully
time.
considered a standby right now, and if it wasn't, Jesse would make us either turn it into a sounding well or fill it with concrete.
Okay, so even
They'll
though
put
it
back
cannot be
every month.
run at the same time as
They,
6.
they have their designations and they don't break it down
Okay,
into.
then I'm not gonna worry about that. So the other one that I was concerned about was the projected income, that it's not projected income, it's actual income. We sent the actuals to you, what, a month ago?
Or more.
More than a month ago, and it wasn't put in.
That was sent, yeah, directly to Ravish.
Sent directly to Bravish. Instead, it just says projected income for fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Projected income exceeds projected expenses, but we have actuals and it really should have been in there.
And that will affect us in the future. Projected,
Well, why is it projected when we already know?
I understand that, I'm just saying that.
I don't know what affects us exactly. I'm gonna skip all the typos, there's still a number of typos in there, I'm not gonna worry about those. I'm not gonna worry about the actual maps, even though I have some questions about the maps. But more or less they're fixed. I am concerned about the Church of Latter-day Saints. Saying that they had chosen not to annex and they were notified by mail multiple times and have not responded, which is not true.
No, that was true, that part was true. We
That
did.
is not
We
true.
sent the letters and then at the tail end of it, then
well,
they
it's
did.
probably true on the first
That's what
MSR.
I'm saying, it
So-
was true at the time.
But this is an MSR that was supposed to change the first MSR.
Right.
because We paid all kinds of money to
Right,
change
I
it.
understand that, Lisa, I understand that, Lisa.
Okay,
So I'm not clear. I don't think anybody's clear on whether they're
In or out?
in or out. D doesn't seem to know whether they're in or out, so I think it's something that maybe we need to make a phone call, or you need to look in your records and see if they're in or out.
Well, one thing I
Can
can
I
do,
say something?
One-
Oh, sorry, Dee, you go ahead.
go ahead, D, and then Director Gibson.
one thing I'm just thinking about the map. I can check the map. I just need the APN of that property and I can check the map to see if the map includes them. or if it does
I
not.
believe the map includes them, Dee. I believe we went through all kinds of stuff and
Right.
spent all kinds of money
Okay,
to
but I mean,
include
you
them.
asked him the question, now he's giving you the answer
Okay.
about how he's gonna check it, but then we.
No, but we don't know the APN. You know the APN?
Well, we can find it, you know, I can determine that. And we can check and see if the map did include or didn't. It's been so darn long, I just can't remember. But we
I
can
would
check
hope
that.
it included
The-
them, because we went through this and tried to include them.
We keep on talking over the people that are answering, so we can't ever get a full response from anybody. I don't mean to be rude, but that's what happens, and we gotta let people finish so we can get the answer to it. I could call
He's
it,
saying he doesn't remember.
but he was also still talking.
What I'm saying is I don't remember, that's for darn sure. But I can check it tomorrow and I can have an answer tomorrow. I just need to know. And Johnny, you can tell me which property it is, and then I can check the map. And we can see if they're in or out on the map. And that'd be a simple thing to do. One thing I've got to tell you is that it's getting close to 6, and I've got a really important family meeting that's coming up. I've got to leave at 6. And I can tell you what it's all about later, but right now I can't. But
Yeah.
anyway, I do have to go and in about 5 minutes.
Okay, the only other concern I had. Well, I have lots of concerns, but the one big one was page 14. I'll tell you this quickly. It was number 4, down gradient easterly groundwater inflow into the Cuddy Valley groundwater basin from the Cuddy Valley groundwater basin. I think that, I mean, you put 5084, but it's not called Cuddy Valley groundwater basin, is it? I mean, the whole thing is Cuddy Valley groundwater basin. And then the inflow is from whatever the name of it is in the upper basin, the upmost basin. And
Yeah,
they call this same as the full basin. It's not, right?
it's the MSR is not going to live or die on that definition, but it certainly can be checked. Just give me a list. I got to go. And
Okay.
I
Thank
just
you,
need to
Dean.
know what page and what paragraph. And I will double check your concerns. And I will also.
I mean, before you walk off, which you have a minute, are we doing a second motion? I will entertain the motion again or not.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the MSR with an errata list correcting the connections to 1310 and with
You don't need to say specifics, just say around up, because there's.
an errata, which a list will be provided by FPPUD to D. Jasper and Associates. So he can submit the MSR.
Is there a second to that motion? I can't
Well-
make a second.
I'll second that then.
Okay, all those in favor, Director Garcia,
Nay.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
that was an aye?
Yes.
Okay, Director Kelling,
Aye.
okay, Director Schoenberg will abstain, so we have 3 ayes, so that motion passes. We have 3 ayes, a nay, a abstain, and that is the motion. So yes, we will send that to LAFCO as soon as I get you the information, which just puts a bunch on my plate that I really didn't want. Okay, thank you. Moving on. Thank you.
Good in.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
Good night.
I'm gonna send you the APN or the APN right now for the church.
Say again, Johnny?
He's gonna send you the APN and thank you for your help, and you can go on to your stuff
Yeah,
that you need.
and
to
I
do.
hope everything is good with your family, Dee.
Oh, it's great. I'll fill you guys in on what it is later, but I can't tell you right now.
Okay,
But yeah,
All
it's
right.
good.
Okay, thank you for
That's a
your
good
help.
thing.
thank you, Dee.
Okay, you're welcome. Good night.
Okay, so if there's nothing else on that lengthy discussion on 13E, we will move on to 13F is tabled because of the MOU, which we have not gotten to yet. 13G is Lake of the Woods. Lake of the Woods, you're still here. You're on.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Pam.
Hi. Okay, so for our current project that we're still wrapping up, we're waiting on the fully executed agreement for the generator portion still. There are a couple of things that they're requiring for DFA. And then cleaning and paving is still needing to be wrapped up. We're waiting on, I think we just got it today, the paving costs are coming in because of all the new requirements from the county. For the other grant, it's going to be called the Water Main Replacement Project for the $5 million. The 80% designs are done. We're waiting for the 90% drafts to get in. And we're still working with the forestry. It is moving along with the forestry. There's a lot of conversation back and forth. So we're still working on that. Well, number 4 is still offline. The latest readings are showing non-detect for iron and manganese. So we're reaching out to Jesse here shortly to see about bringing it online again. And we're also going to update Lawrence because that's his new project working on manganese. And then our blending station, our samples for the month of July have been 3.7 to 4.5. And the latest results were on 7/23 and they were 3.8. So that's it.
That's great.
Good job.
All right,
Thank you, Pam.
thank you, Pam.
Are there any questions? Yes.
This
Director.
kind of related because it's about our nitrate levels, but ours have gotten as high as 9.10 now. And we had kind of a spike after the earthquake. Like it caused it worse, so we're just barely below the legal limit.
Wow.
Okay, a little bit out of order, but.
No, that's,
Yeah.
thank you, Johnny. I'll add that to my list to ask you from now on. But that's interesting news. I'll let Eric know that you had a spike and see if he can do a handheld. We didn't even think about that. We were more concerned about system,
Yeah.
making sure the system was.
Yeah, I mean, was that on number 5 or number 6?
5. 6 were still fine.
Okay.
All right.
5.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Phil. That is something I would like to put on the agenda so we can discuss it or talk about it in the manager report, because that is something that, because of where that is located. Anyway, we can bring that up at the
I mean,
end.
there's nothing to discuss on a regular basis. I'll give you the updates. The next discussion that we put on the agenda is not even a discussion. It'll be if we exceed it, Jesse's gonna make us start sending letters again and then you'll know. So it's not something we need to add another agenda item because I will keep you apprised if it hits that point. The well will shut off.
But you didn't, yeah, I'm just saying, so we remember to say it because it wasn't in the manager.
Oh, no, I'll remember to say it because it didn't have to be in the, because I can verbally,
Calling you.
because nothing changed. Every other meeting it's been at 9. Now it went to 9.10 and then it dropped back down again. So it's such a negligible amount that it's not worthy of panic yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, on to 13H, we do not have a discussion vote on claim and payouts, I don't believe, Carlos,
No.
because we have, that would be
That'll be
in
next
a,
week.
next
Couple
week. Do you have anything that needs to be brought up about that?
No.
Okay, then we will move on to, unless.
And just make sure you have all those other invoices on that claim coming up, Carlos, because we've got approval of the budget adjustment. Yay.
So there's nothing else. If there's nothing else on 13, I will go forward to item 14. So 14, discussion vote update on FPPD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. So 14A, we talked about a little bit, but Director Nyman can fill us in a little bit more. 14A is the discussion vote update on well number 7.
So on well number 7, they have, it's with the management, they pretty much are gonna approve the change orders.
Yeah, they said it was 11 or something. on
Yeah,
the
it
list.
was so basically their process of the amendment, they said it was a 12-step process. They were at 11. So probably we will have approval on that, within the next three weeks. Okay, now, just as an issue, which it has to do with the budget, we still don't have, so we have to wait for that to be approved, but we still can't submit any claims until, I guess it's all tied into the bridge loan too. So basically, because the 261, which is the claim form, has the wrong date, that will not be corrected, probably for, I think, 3 weeks. He said 3 weeks or so. So in the meantime, once they've approved from, the other claims they had, that were submitted
They could
prior
do
to the
past
date,
claims,
the past
right?
claims, that we should be getting those. Let me take that back. We should be getting those claims, which is a few $100,000 that we have taken bridge loans out on. So we can pay back the bridge loan, so that if we need to pay
Which we
rough
will.
before we get the amendment, which we will, we have to wait, we can take those bridge loans and pay out those claims.
Because the actual date change is gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a while.
Ron,
It's gonna take more than-
on there?
Yeah, go ahead, Oscar, if I got anything wrong.
So I think you got a little confused. What Ruben said was that the pending claims that have already been submitted to the state for reimbursement, which are claim 26, 27, and 28. You guys should be expecting checks from that in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
As for the amendment to the funding agreement, that should be resolved by first week of October, he said.
Right, okay.
After the call we had with Ruben, I spoke to my director about that. So, long story short, she was pretty upset about it, of how they're making us wait this long to resolve all of this, including the reimbursement of claims. So I sent her information and she prepared an email and sent it up higher up the chain to DFA management in hopes of them, reimbursing the claims sooner and getting a move on this funding agreement amendment that you guys are still waiting for.
That's good.
That's good. Well,
So
that's good news.
Hopefully it pans out and, it gets resolved quicker than what, Ruben mentioned.
Right,
Right,
okay.
but if it doesn't, the good news is that he did assure us that the claims that are already in will be paid, and that will allow us to pay back the bridge loan money, which will allow us to take more bridge loan money, say that 6 times fast, to be able to pay out the final payments on this.
Well, we may not get the final payments, but
Well,
well,
it's the next progress payment.
no, we're talking, well, it also has to do with meter replacement. So it all kind of ties in together, because we can't make any claims, any more claims for Bruff for the work that they've done. And so.
And we already owe them another progress
And
payment.
we owe them, I think, another progress payment, but we don't have the money to pay them.
Right.
So we will be getting, hopefully, like you said earlier, or within 3 to 4 weeks, we'll be getting the money back that we can pay back to the bridge loan. And then if we need to take a bridge loan out to pay another progress payment, we can do so.
But that's when the
That's
meters.
really B, so we're still really waiting for them.
Well,
The well
that's what I
seven,
said,
four-
because
yeah.
that's the abandonment.
Right,
Yeah,
but
so
7 is the,
14, we got a little bit,
yeah,
out of order, so 14A, which is the abandonment and, all of the well 7 items are still waiting with there, it's on step 11 of 12
Right.
steps for them to say yay or nay on. what
right,
they
it's
can
gonna
do.
take a couple more months. Like you said, October 1st, I got it. So it's gonna be a couple more months before they approve that amendment, which is the change order that will approve the final one for Unified, because we
Right,
still owe
yeah, that's
Unified,
what I was
we
like.
still only owe Unified over $100,000.
Right.
So we might be able to take the bridge loan to pay them. So it's and Bruff may have to wait. So it's something we'll have to manage, but basically at this point, it's gonna take a couple months before that amendment gets paid.
Well, yeah, I was just
Or
getting
get to approve.
confused, because here we are paying Bruff again, and I'm like, wait
Yeah,
about what.
14A is not,
Yeah, I-
Unified is not.
Okay.
paid.
Yeah,
So, but this
It's
would,
all tied in together.
They're
It's
tied in,
all, because it's all under the same contract.
Mhm.
And so I'm sorry if I,
Okay, I was just
so,
confused.
so let's move on unless there's another question about the well 7 item. Let's finish the discussion on 14B, which is that, and we need to just be filled in, and the Johnny had already, talked about this a little bit, that we sent back some meters to get replaced.
That's where it's,
Yeah, we were told to expect a 1%, defect rate on the meters that Mr. Garcia, said it's about 0.5%, 7 meters. Process, you take them, they send them back to Neptune, they confirm that they're defective, and then they send them back to us, send new ones or repaired ones, and then we put them back in the ground, so we're doing really well. The meter project is gone really well.
okay.
So are there any other questions on B? 14B. Okay, 14C, claims and payouts, that we've also been discussing, so that's not really going to move forward at this point
and we
until.
can't make any more claims because of the date until the amendment gets approved. We can't, until it gets changed on their form, we can't submit any more claims.
So we will need to pay.
I'll
Yes,
still
go ahead, Oscar.
I'll continue to prepare the claims as they come in. So Tiffany, if you get the invoices for these next months or whatever before the amendment gets resolved, and we can go over them in the state ad hoc call as well, and I'll have them ready to go. So when we do have it resolved, we can submit them as soon as possible.
Okay, great, that'll be helpful.
So basically, we should continue approving the claims. And the caveat of that, we approve the claims, to be submitted
When
the amendment date can be changed.
correct, so we'll need to keep that in mind for when you make the motions.
Right.
Okay, so on 14, anything else on that, Oscar, before we go into 14D?
The last claim, claim 29 was not approved because we didn't go over it in the last board meeting. So for the next board meeting, I can present claim 29 and claim 30 for your guys' approval. That way, they're already approved, and I'll just switch out the correct forms once those become available.
Right,
Okay.
because those are the first claims that are
Right.
dealing with this wrong date.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
That'll be good, and then, so 14D, discussion vote update on the bridge loan request and payment, so hopefully we will get, these other 3 claims paid. That will give us money to pay the bridge loan, then we'll have to take out another bridge loan.
Right.
And then, just on that, the bridge loan, the 6-month extension is about to expire this month.
That's what I was wondering.
I've been working with our admin to get on that and have that extension available for you guys for approval. So maybe by the next board meeting, I can have that form to you guys so that you guys can approve for an extension.
Okay, sounds good.
Good, thank you
So
all.
make
for
sure,
your-
make sure that that's on for approval.
Okay, anything else under 14?
No.
Yes, Oscar, you had something else?
Said not on my end.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. I think you can go.
Thank you, Oscar.
Okay, thank you guys.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, on to item 15, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. So 15A, D's gone, but I don't believe anything has
It's
changed on
95%.
engineering design. It's still sitting at 95%.
And also, it is out with Jesse and they're reviewing it. So they're working on getting that design reviewed. And so we're just waiting for them to get back to D if there's any changes and stuff like that.
Okay, and 15B on the project application, I believe, Carlos, everything is in that can be in right now, correct? And we're just waiting on the engineering design
That's it.
approval from the state?
Basically, they said it was in review.
Yeah, it should be in review already, cause well, technically, back in the day, the applications would be in review, even if you just submitted the general package, which we did, like a year ago. But now recently for an application to be in review, the CEQA has got to be submitted, which it is. So, it should be in review, and we'll speak with, Ruben at the state update meeting to see, what's going on with that, but we should be in review already.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions on 15? Discussion. Okay, moving on to item 16, discussion vote on standby fee assessment. This is Carlos also.
I don't have a update from the last meeting. Maybe Tiffany has more since she's been in contact with them more than I have.
Yeah, we haven't had any meetings. I haven't spoken with Greg in the last couple of weeks now since the last meeting, but I'll have an update next meeting, even though that assessment's gonna take a while.
Yes,
I have a
Joe.
quick question, just because I get confused. When is the next time for standby fee or any other reason that you guys are allowed to do an increase in your rates?
So we're not, we have one more increase that's
January, next
already approved
Right, I
from
mean, a
our.
new 218.
Yeah,
We
so
don't have one.
a new 218, we are not there yet. We have one more year. And then we have this, which would be different, than it's a sort of like a 218, but it's not. It's a different version of it. They're telling us that it would be by next year, right?
Yeah,
Next
we're gonna
June?
have,
May or June?
no, by March, I think we'll have the public hearing, March
Yeah.
of 25.
And that would be an actual vote. It's not a, it's different than a regular, Prop 218. It's not a majority protest. It's
It's still a majority protest, it's just a
But
majority
by votes,
protest
right?
by ballot,
by ballot.
as opposed, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to find out when your regular normal next 218.
The
We-
regular
we have to-
normal
we have
next
to-
218 would be after we, are not able
Yeah,
to,
26, 27,
yeah, 26, 27.
That's what I was trying to find out.
Okay, sorry. about
28,
that.
I mean, whenever we can do it.
So we
So we
probably
would start it early,
25, we
yeah.
probably
Start it next
start
year.
it next year
Okay.
and hopefully have it ready, by the end of the year.
And it's 25, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the end of 25, so that we can implement it in 26.
That could
But I don't know if we can do that.
be, I don't know if it's too early for an agenda item
Yeah.
to kick it around, but,
The only,
I mean, just to start discussion, I don't know if you want.
I
Well,
think I could put it on the agenda.
Cause I think
Because
that,
we were doing it.
cause the issue really is getting with RCAC,
Mhm.
getting
See,
on their
Johnny-
radar.
Oh, I don't know if I wanted to, Johnny and I might have new interesting information for the board to consider. I mean, I didn't mean to throw you in there, I don't know.
That ain't gonna have, we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right, put it on the agenda for next time so we can find out what that is. Okay, so anything
Another
else on?
thing- Another thing to talk about on, you guys were talking about a possibility of the next rate study, right?
Yes,
Yeah, well, as far as the next rate study, that could possibly be done in-house at self-help as well now, so we might not need to, you might not need to submit another TA request for RCAC, so we'll keep that in mind for when that comes up.
that would be amazing.
That would be great, Carlos.
Okay. Good news to hear.
You want that on the
I
the
think
regular
we should
meeting in September?
put it on the regular meeting in September so we can start talking about it, because then you could fill us in some more on that, Carlos. Everybody's okay with that?
Yeah. Sure, because I think it's better we talk about it sooner and get, and at least do some planning on it so that we can get it going.
Okay, so item 17, which actually I think that's it, Carlos, unless anybody else has anything for Carlos, I believe that you can, go ahead and have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Leave our presence.
Alrighty,
Thank
you guys
you,
have a good
Carla.
night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, item 17, discussion vote update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency allocation to special districts grant, final testing and purchase of the generators. I do know Johnny was meeting with them to do some final items on that. Can you?
The generator project, we got it signed off by San Joaquin. They had zero problems with it. I
Awesome.
gave you a bunch of stuff that has to be reviewed. I would recommend you do it during the financial ad hoc. It's basically just, I had Curtis confirmed that the payment, the money amounts and everything are correct. Curtis came up with a difference of $558. Let's see, district owes 83,479. That's about $558 less than what PTS rentals invoiced you for. So we just need to go over it and make sure. PTS did a lot of extra work they didn't charge us for. So when the ad hoc goes over it, I'll explain the stainless steel hoods and all that stuff to get it passed. And then we have to do a notice of completion and return that to Curtis. So I would recommend that, because it's not real simple to go over. You just got to go over everything that we.
Okay, well then we'll need to vote on that at the next meeting in September, I guess, or not in September, in the next meeting in
In
August.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, and do we want to set a date, Terry, to go over? This is the financial ad hoc, which we may also need to discuss whatever Joan's needs are.
I guess so. Give me some dates, I don't know. You're the one that's busy.
I could do, let's see, we're probably gonna need, one of you, well, we need Johnny, because he's gonna need to explain things to us, so. What dates are you available, Johnny?
Pretty much any day.
How about Wednesday, the 14th?
Sure.
If you want Deborah, she normally can't do.
Oh, she's
Wednesdays.
not on Wednesdays, we
Okay.
probably do need Deborah. The 15th, we have the state meeting already.
Honestly, I don't think it's gonna take,
Oh, it's less money than what I originally
Why
thought,
don't
so
we
that's
do?
honestly, I don't think it's gonna take any more than just two of you just confirming that the dollar amounts are right from what we paid, what it was quoted.
I know, but we still need Deborah. We don't
How
know what
come?
we pay, you know.
No, I got,
She's gonna have to pull the file.
I got the email already from Deborah that I sent to Curtis to have him confirm, so I can pull that stuff off the email that I sent to Curtis, because I sent Curtis what she had, so he could confirm. I wanted the engineer to confirm, because he controlled
Okay.
everything, And now I just want, before the check is cut, for you to get the ad hoc to
Then can
confirm.
we meet, Monday, early afternoon, like at 1 o'clock?
This coming Monday?
Yeah, I just have an appointment in the morning at 10:30. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it shouldn't take super long. That would be the 12th,
Oh, when?
like at. I don't know, maybe either 12:30 or 1.
1 o'clock?
Can you do 1 o'clock, Johnny?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just put that down.
Joan, can you come here on Monday, the 12th?
I am totally
About
flexible.
about 1:30 or so?
Yeah.
We can knock this thing out and then we can talk to you.
If you even need to, you might be able to answer a couple of quick questions at the end of the meeting and be done.
Okay. Okay, so I have that for 1 PM on Monday. Okay, so on to item 18. Discussion vote on district's record retention policy. Are we gonna have time for this?
I think we should table this month, or this meeting, because
I would have to entertain that motion.
I make a motion that we, table, the continued discussion, vote on district retention policy until September.
Okay. is
I'll
there a
second that.
Okay, are there any discussion, questions, issues? We'll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion carries. That's 500. We will table that discussion until the first regular meeting in September. Okay, brief recess. Do we need a recess or should we just try to
Crank
through
it
the
out.
rest of this?
I would crank through.
Okay, so item 19, discuss review remote meeting laws.
So I'll try to be brief and concise, but I would encourage you to read this. This is just cut and paste from the Brown Act. The very first section, the first paragraph that's separated out is what we referred to as the old meeting laws, but this is current Brown Act. So that tells you that if you put your address on the agenda, when the agenda is produced and you allow the public to access to you at that location, you can be on the telephone and have a remote meeting, just like we're doing now with Director Gibson. All the rest of it, yes, sir.
Is that, if you are notified by the time the
Meeting starts?
agenda goes out, it's tight, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
You have, yeah, to do that.
The
phone
Monday
only,
of the week.
it has to be on the Monday agenda.
72-hour notice.
Yes, it has to be 72-hour notice. So now,
And it has to be accessible. So if you say you're in Santa Barbara or something, that property, whatever it is, if someone chose to show up there.
Open
You have
door
to-
policy, no worries,
Yeah,
more the merrier.
I'll be there.
You know where I'm at, son.
But we shouldn't abuse it,
No.
just saying.
okay, let me
Never have.
continue on. So the rest of it is all about the new meeting laws, and I'll try to be very concise. If you have just cause, which is listed, or you have an emergency, which is listed, what qualifies is that you may ask to be remote on the agenda, or you can show up to the meeting on the Zoom and say, can you vote board? I need to be remote because I have just cause or I have an emergency. You can do it on the meeting.
But you have to have your
Wait,
camera.
let me.
Okay, sorry.
So if you do choose to be a participant in the Zoom meeting under just cause or emergency circumstance, you must have a two-way video and audio communication. You must be visible on Zoom. You have to have your camera on and you have to have your mic on. If at any point your connection cuts out, not ours, your connection cuts out, the meeting has to stop until that connection is resumed. So make sure you have a good internet. It does include ours, so if our meeting cuts out on Zoom, we can no longer proceed until the connection is reestablished. No action can be taken. So it's nice to have the option for Zoom. It's just a lot.
So what happens if for some reason they can't come back? Does that mean the meeting's over?
Yeah, it's an adjourned meeting. It's over.
Oh,
You can either continue the meeting if it's less than 5 days, or you have to or the rest of the meeting's canceled, or you can do a special meeting.
And so that's true of the opposite way if we're meeting, which we didn't know because we've been putting in the agenda that, you know, it's an option for us to allow the public, but that would
This
mean
is-
that we would have to stop the meeting as well, right?
Well, the public can participate on Zoom currently. This is a board member only law.
No, I'm saying
So-
the opposite. You were saying if this meeting lost connection.
If a board member was participating on Zoom for emergency or just cause in our room,
Oh, and only if there was a board member participating that way. And they
Only if
weren't
the
all
board
here.
member is.
So if we're all here and we're participating, then the meeting doesn't need to stop
It
if
doesn't
we
need to
lose
stop.
connection. But if a board member is participating, and that's not true of the telephone participation?
that is not true of the.
Of the
telephone
old
version.
style
Yeah,
participation.
it is
but
not
the
true. If you
new-
lose it, we continue on.
Okay, but in the new style participation, we would need to do the
If there's
same thing and stop. the
Any
meeting.
interruption, either on our end or the board members, the board cannot continue to take
Wow.
action.
Until they come.
Restored.
Until it's.
Good darn thing I said no on the last meeting, huh?
Yeah.
Cause I would have lost connection on my.
Right,
phone.
in the mountain pass. So, yeah, audio and video at all times. Read through it, but that's, I'm hoping explains a little bit more. And, you know, if you don't have a problem allowing your address and location to be a public meeting, it's a little more flexible under the old laws in that way.
But if you, choose to not be at the meeting, you choose to not be at the meeting, then it doesn't matter.
Right,
So if
yeah.
you had COVID or something and you chose
To not show
not to
up,
participate, that doesn't.
that doesn't make a difference.
It's only
Only if the
decided
board
to
votes
participate.
to allow, and the board has to vote to allow you to be on that meeting on Zoom only.
I'm voting no.
So if the board votes yes, that's when all these
Restrictions
restrictions
come into
start,
play.
yeah, come into
Okay.
play. And there's more restrictions, like you have to say if anybody else in the room if anybody else is in the room with you that's over 18, you have to explain the nature of your relationship to that person. It's my family member, it's my friend, you know, you have to say that if you're remote on Zoom under these laws, so.
Hmm.
You have to.
And
announce
does
it to
that person
everybody.
need to be seen or not?
No.
Doesn't-
No, you just have to say who's there.
You have to say if there's someone present that's
Mhm.
listening to the meeting,
If there's somebody there sitting
even
next,
though they're a member of the public.
yeah. If there's somebody there with you.
They're
you have
not
to
an
say it.
anonymous member of the public.
You can't be, well, anonymous, but you
And
just
what
have to
happens
say
if
who
you
it
were
is.
in a public place?
Sitting at Starbucks and you
Yeah.
wanna join the meeting?
That's not specifically addressed. Or maybe you could say, I'm sitting at a Starbucks and there's a bunch of customers with me. That's probably good enough.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people over the age 18 that are customers here.
But you would have to know if they're all over the age of 18, so you'd have to like.
No,
pull-
it's only the people that are over the age of 18 that need to be announced. So if there's,
Oh, I
you don't
see.
have to say there's a child, you just have to say, okay,
There are
There are
people
people
with me over the age of 18.
that are also
Are able to
customers of
hear what
Starbucks.
I'm discussing on this meeting.
yeah,
Got
that's
it.
probably how you'd have to do it.
Okay.
But read, because there's a lot of detail.
Okay, any other questions on that before we read through? So are you gonna have this on the agenda again so we can,
If you want to go, I mean, you can read it on your own if you want to go
Yeah.
into more detail, then, but it kind of gives you an idea.
I think I'm pretty clear on it. I don't think it's that.
and they have, the board members have the option of voting no.
They do. They can say, no, you can't attend on Zoom.
Okay.
And right now, this stands till 2026. So they're gonna have to change it or amend it or continue it after 2026. Okay.
It's like, what's outside? And it's-
I thought this was gonna start taking off.
You got a drone?
It doubles as a drone,
Okay, so on to new business item 20, review and approve meeting minutes. So there's a whole list for 6/11/2024 AP Standing Committee, 6/13/2024 regular meeting, 6/25/2024 AP Standing Committee, 6/27/2024 regular state planning and project meeting, 7/9/2024 AP Standing Committee, 7/11/2024 regular meeting, 7/16/2024 quarterly financial standing committee, 7/23/2024 AP Standing Committee, 7/25/2024 regular state planning and project meeting, and 7/30/2024 quarterly financial standing committee. I don't know if we can address these all in a lump if you've read them, if we need to address them separately. But I will entertain a motion to address them separately and or as a group.
I make a motion that we approve the, meeting minutes that were mentioned by Director Schoenberg as an entire group. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may have caught or may need to be corrected.
Okay, quick question before we have a second, or actually, I guess I'll entertain a second to that, and then I have a question.
I'll second that.
Okay, so my question is if you were not present for any of these meetings, you need to look. Then you need to have watched or, have, if you're going to vote yes on it, you need to have viewed this meeting or participated somehow in this meeting, except for the AP standing committees.
Or the quarter?
Or the quarterlies, financial, so.
I
that's-
rescind my second.
Okay,
Director Callen?
I will second it.
okay, same thing goes.
Yeah, she's fine.
Okay,
been here for
so
everything.
I will do, if there are no questions or anything, so I guess because they're all in a lump, you would need to abstain from a specific meeting. You could, no, can we? No, you just need to abstain, period,
Yeah,
If you're doing it as a lump.
if you're
Yeah.
doing it as a lump.
How many
So,
need to?
roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Staying.
Director Nyman,
aye.
Director Gibson.
Abstain.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
We can't do it as a lump, no, because I.
Because you wasn't here for one either.
Okay,
Okay, so we're gonna have to do them one at a time.
what?
See, so I was June 11.
Okay, wait a second. It doesn't matter for the,
Well, you could do all the AP, you could do all the standing.
There you
committees
go.
as a lump,
okay.
And quarterly, lump quarterly.
and the quarterly.
Okay, so first of all, I make a motion that we approve the AP Standing Committee minutes for 6/11/2024, for 6/25/2024, for 7/9/2024, for 7/23/2024.
The 7/23 is a financial, so you said.
No, there's a 7/23 AP Standing Committee. Seven,
Okay, you're right.
I know I'm right.
Thank you.
With any of the amendments that were,
7/16 and 7/30.
Our quarterly financial, so you could
oh,
put them in
and
that lump.
okay, and the quarterly financial standing committee for 7/16/2024, and the quarterly for 7/30/2024 quarterly financial standing committee. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Staying.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye because you don't need to abstain from the standing.
Yeah,
committee.
abstain.
You're not normally there, but,
That's
okay.
like the state
So
meeting.
that passes, it's okay, that passes 3-0 and 2 abstentions.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Okay,
I will entertain for the other ones, which you should probably do one at a time.
okay. So I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes for 6/13/2024. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or may need to be corrected.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Thank.
Director Nyman,
Aye,
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that passes, that is 3-0 to abstentions.
okay. I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes for Thursday, July 11th, 2024, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may
What about the one
not
you,
have caught or that may need to be corrected.
didn't you skip one?
We'll go
Well,
back
I'm
to
gonna
it.
get to it.
Okay.
I'm doing them one at a time, you said.
I know, but 627.
I did 6, well, okay, so it doesn't matter if I went in order,
Okay. So you're doing 7/11/2024.
like
Yes.
I stated.
Okay,
Is there a second?
Second it.
okay, any questions, anything? We'll call the directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye,
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that passes 4-0, 1 abstention.
Yes.
okay, I make a motion that we approve, regular meeting minutes for Thursday, July 25th, 2024. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the, meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may not have been caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions, discussion, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye,
Director Gibson,
Aye. Oh,
Abstain.
Director Kelly,
aye.
Director Schoenberg is an abstention, so that passes 3-0 to abstentions.
okay. What,
There's one more.
I don't have that
The
here.
AP or the state meeting.
Oh, the regular,
It's the state meeting in June. 6/27/2024.
I didn't see that here.
AP.
Oh, to the
Six
very
on
end, the
regular
second
meeting.
line,
No,
627.
I know that, but I didn't see it in
Oh,
my
no,
packet.
that's-
Okay,
You go ahead and do it.
okay. I move that we approve the minutes for the 6/27/2024 regular state planning,
Oh, okay,
with the,
I see.
amendments, sent, to Tiffany previous to the, and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I second that.
Okay, any questions, discussion, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye,
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that passes 4-0, 1 abstention. So all of the minutes have been addressed. Okay, we're gonna go on to item number 21, discussion vote on future agenda items.
I am not a future agenda. I won't be at the next meeting.
Okay,
You will not be here?
I will not be here for the meeting on the 22nd. I will I will do the best I can and have the board packets out on the 20th, so you'll have your books.
okay.
And you'll be, or who will be turning recording?
Hopefully Joyce, but if not, I'll turn the recorder on.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, because we gotta, I was gonna say, can you do another training?
Yeah, I can train with her more. I can also train Johnny too. I
Yeah.
mean, we can
So
have
we
a
can
couple
get-
backups.
Yeah, we probably
And
just
when I was
need,
sitting there playing with it, I figured out even how to do a breakout room. It's pretty simple. So
yeah, because we just need to make
Yeah.
sure that.
Well, yeah, the breakout room
Understood.
You won't be here by the
and
22nd?
YouTube,
Meeting, yeah, I won't
Okay.
be here for the 22nd.
and the YouTube,
And the YouTube, yes, the July 11th didn't make it on YouTube,
yes, my husband
Okay.
was complaining about that.
was he? Good, that means people are interested,
So,
at least the spouses of water people.
at least,
They're interested.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So, I will entertain, so we don't, well, do we have any future agenda items besides that?
Yeah, just the stuff that you read in the meeting.
That we already discussed, okay, I will entertain a
I'll
motion.
make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
No discussion, I assume, okay, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
hi.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so the meeting is adjourning at 6:41 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't
Actually,
think that,
6:40.
I don't think that in all the years, we could do a meeting.
Thanks, everybody.
We
Thank
added
you.
anything at the